Have you ever had to push yourself up from a chair using both hands because your legs just didn't have the strength anymore? Have you felt your steps getting smaller, slower, more careful? Like your body is quietly slipping away and nobody told you why. It's not just getting older. This is muscle loss. This is sarcopenia, and it's silently stealing your independence. 1 pound of muscle at a time. By the time you hit age 60, you could be losing as much as 1% of your muscle mass every year without even realizing it. Now think about that. 1% every year. That means in just 5 years, you might be 5% weaker than you are right now. That's the difference between walking to the kitchen or needing a walker, between getting out of bed on your own or calling someone for help. According to the National Institute on Aging, sarcopenia affects nearly 1 out of every 3 Americans over 60. That's not a small number, that's your neighbor, your spouse, maybe even you. But here's the good news. This condition is not irreversible. You can fight it. You can rebuild muscle. And yes, you can regain strength even at 70, even at 80. I've spent over 50 years treating patients across this country, and I can tell you with certainty, it's never too late to get strong again. But you have to act before the damage is done. If you've ever felt afraid to climb stairs, if you've ever stopped walking because of pain, weakness, or shame, then this video was made for you. Comment below, type 1 if this sounds like you, or type 0 if you've never felt it. I want to know where you are. And if you care about staying strong and staying free, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell, because what we're about to share might save your legs. Mistake 1. Ignoring the first signs. Let me tell you something that's hard to hear, but it might save your life. The number one mistake I see in my older patients is not paying attention when their body is trying to warn them. That moment when you struggle to carry the groceries up the stairs. That second when your leg gives out as you're stepping off the curb. That strange weakness you feel when trying to stand up from a chair. Most people shrug it off. They say, "I'm just tired today." Or, "It's normal at my age." No, it's not. That's your body's first alarm bell. And you better listen before it turns into a siren. According to a 2023 report by Harvard Health Publishing, people over 60 who ignore early signs of muscle loss are twice as likely to experience serious falls within the next 2 years. Twice as likely.
And do you know what happens after a serious fall? The CDC reports that over 800,000 older Americans are hospitalized every year because of falls, most often from leg weakness and muscle imbalance. Once hospitalized, 1/2 of those patients never regain full mobility again. That's not a statistic. That's real life. That's your neighbor, your spouse, your father, or maybe that's your future. But here's what makes it worse. Most cases of sarcopenia don't begin with dramatic symptoms. They start with small, quiet changes. Little things like you stop walking as far as you used to. You need both hands to get out of the car. You avoid bending down to tie your shoes. These aren't habits. They're red flags. And if you ignore them, they don't go away. They multiply. The National Council on Aging calls sarcopenia a silent epidemic because millions are losing muscle and don't even know it until it's too late. Now I want you to meet someone. His name is George. He's 72. He used to walk 1 mile every morning with his dog, Rocky. Last year, George started skipping his walks. He said, "It's just my knees." Then he stopped going upstairs. It's just age. 2 months later, he fell in the bathroom, broke his hip. Now George uses a walker, and he's scared to go outside. He told me, "I wish I had noticed the signs sooner. I thought I was just slowing down." So let me ask you, are you noticing any of these early signs in yourself? Do you get tired faster than you used to? Do you avoid movements that once felt easy? Are you trusting pain or weakness more than you're trusting your strength? If so, comment yes down below. Let me know what changes you've seen because your story could help someone else realize they're not alone. And now, here's what I want you to do tonight. Before bed, take 60 seconds. Try standing up and sitting down from a chair without using your hands. If you can't do 5 in a row, don't panic, but don't ignore it either. That's your first step, your wake-up call, your moment to reclaim your muscle. Because if you wait, the price is not just weakness, it's independence, it's mobility, it's freedom. So don't miss the signs. Catch them, own them, and let's turn them into strength. Mistake 2, doing the wrong exercises or none at all. Here's a hard truth, and you need to hear it straight from a doctor. Walking alone is not enough to stop muscle loss. Yes, walking is good for your heart. It helps with circulation, balance, and even your mood. But when it comes to stopping sarcopenia, that silent muscle loss, stealing your strength, walking is like putting a Band-Aid on a broken bone. You need resistance. You need a challenge. You need to tell your muscles, wake up, we're not done yet. Here's the science. According to the Tufts University Human Nutrition Research Center on Aging, resistance training like light weights or bodyweight squats has been proven to increase muscle mass and improve physical function in adults over 60. Not just preserve it, increase it. That means you can build new muscle, not just slow the loss. But here's the mistake most older adults make. They either do nothing or they repeat the same gentle walk every day, thinking that's all it takes. Now let me be clear. Doing nothing, that's dangerous, but doing the wrong thing that gives you a false sense of security, and that's even worse. Because here's what happens. Your muscles get lazy, your body adapts, and you stop growing even though you think you're doing something healthy. Muscle responds to resistance. Always has. Always will. If you never ask your muscles to lift, push, or pull, they'll stop trying. And once that decline begins, it speeds up faster than you expect. According to a 2024 report from the National Strength and Conditioning Association, adults over 60 who don't include resistance training in their weekly routine lose muscle twice as fast as those who do. Now, what counts as resistance? It's not just heavy weights. It could be standing up and sitting down from a chair 10 times, pushing against a wall, using resistance bands, holding a water bottle in each hand and doing curls. What matters is not how much, but how consistently and correctly you do it. If you feel sore after good, that's your muscle talking back, saying, I'm alive, I'm working. But if you never feel anything, then your muscles might already be fading, and you won't know it until it's too late. One of the biggest myths out there is this: I'm too old to lift. Let me be clear, there is no such thing. Your muscles don't check your birth certificate. They respond to use or disuse. If you move them, they grow. If you neglect them, they shrink. And don't let fear hold you back. You don't need to go to a gym. You don't need fancy equipment. And you don't need to bulk up like a bodybuilder. You just need to challenge your body safely, regularly, and with intention. Now let me ask you, are you doing anything each week that actually makes your muscles work? If not, it's time to change that, because doing nothing means losing everything. And doing the wrong thing, that's just wasting time you can't afford to lose. So here's your simple action for today. Pick one movement that uses your legs. Do it slowly, carefully, 5 times, and pay attention to how your body responds. That's your starting line, not your finish. You can get stronger. You can push back against sarcopenia, but only if you stop fooling yourself and start moving the right way. Comment below and let me know. What's one movement that feels hard for you today? Let's build from there together. Mistake 3. Protein myths are costing you muscle. Let's talk about something almost every older adult gets wrong. Protein, not calories, not carbs, not fancy supplements. Protein. This one nutrient, or the lack of it, is quietly robbing you of your strength, your energy, your balance, and it's doing it every single day. Now listen carefully. As you age, your body becomes less efficient at turning protein into muscle. This is called anabolic resistance. It means you need more protein, not less, just to maintain the same amount of muscle. Yet what do most older Americans do? They eat less. Less meat, less eggs, less dairy. They say, I don't want to raise my cholesterol, or I'm just not that hungry anymore. But here's what the science says. According to a 2023 article from Harvard Medical School, older adults should aim for at least zero point 0.6 to zero point 0.8 grams of protein per pound of body weight per day. Let me break that down. If you weigh 150 pounds, you should be eating 90 to 120 grams of protein every day. That's more than twice what most people over 60 actually eat. And no, a bowl of cereal and toast in the morning won't cut it. That's just sugar and starch. You need protein in the first meal of the day because your muscles wake up hungry. 2. Missing that morning protein. You've already set yourself up for muscle loss before lunchtime. That's not just poor nutrition. That's a silent mistake that can cost you your mobility. Now let me bust one more myth. You do not need to eat steak every night to hit your protein goals. You can get protein from eggs, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, chicken breast, lentils, tofu, protein shakes. It's not about eating more. It's about eating smarter and eating consistently. And here's the rule I give all my patients. Every single meal should contain at least 25 to 30 grams of protein. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, not one big steak at night, 3 balanced meals throughout the day. That way, your body gets a steady supply of amino acids, the building blocks your muscles need to grow and repair. And by the way, protein isn't just about muscle. It's about healing wounds faster, boosting your immune system, improving brain function, preventing frailty and falls. So if you've been skipping meals, avoiding meat, or relying on toast and coffee to start your day, you're not fueling your body. You're starving your muscles. And no, age is not an excuse. The older you get, the more deliberate you must be. Because if you don't feed your muscles, who will, let me ask you? How much protein are you really eating each day? Are you tracking it or are you guessing? If you're not sure, don't worry. Just start with your next meal. Add an egg, a scoop of yogurt, a handful of nuts. That's one small change that could keep you standing strong instead of reaching for the walker. Comment protein below if this surprised you and tell me what your next high-protein meal will be. Let's rebuild your body, one meal at a time. Mistake 4, not talking to your doctor early enough. Let's be honest. Most people wait too long to talk to their doctor. They ignore the stiffness. They push through the fatigue. They downplay the falls, the stumbles, the off days. And by the time they finally walk into a clinic, the damage is already done. But here's the thing. Sarcopenia doesn't scream. It whispers. And if you don't have someone trained to hear those whispers, you might miss the only chance you have to stop it early. Now hear me clearly. Talking to your doctor isn't just about getting a prescription. It's about getting answers. It's about prevention. It's about building a plan. Your physician can check muscle strength through grip tests, walking speed, balance and reaction time, body composition to measure lean muscle mass. None of this requires pain. None of it takes long. But every one of those tests gives you a clearer picture of what your body is trying to tell you. And guess what? If you catch muscle loss early, you have the power to reverse it. But if you wait until you're in a hospital bed after a fall, recovery becomes 10 times harder. According to the National Institute on Aging, most adults don't mention their muscle loss concerns until it begins affecting their daily function. By then, they've already lost up to 10% of their muscle mass, and they don't even realize it. Let me tell you something from experience. Muscle loss doesn't hit like a storm. It fades like a sunset. Slow, quiet, gradual. And that's exactly why you need a doctor in your corner. Not just once a year for a physical, but regularly. intentionally. You need someone to say, hey, you're slowing down. Let's find out why. Not it's just age, get used to it. Because here's the truth. Muscle loss is not inevitable, and aging is not an excuse for giving up. So take control now. Call your doctor, book the appointment, get the tests. Don't wait for a fall. Don't wait for a fracture. Don't wait for a wake-up call you might not recover from. Comment below. Have you talked to your doctor about muscle loss? Yet if not, this is your sign. Because your strength is worth fighting for. And your future depends on what you do today. Mistake 5. Relying only on supplements. Let me be blunt with you. Supplements are not a miracle. They're not magic pills. They're not shortcuts. And they will never replace what your body truly needs, which is real food, real movement, and real habits. Yet too many older adults are putting their faith in bottles. Vitamin D, calcium, omega-3s, protein powders, creatine, magnesium. The list gets longer. The bathroom cabinet gets fuller, but the body's still getting weaker. And here's why supplements can support you, but they can't save you. If your muscles are shrinking because you're not moving them, no amount of pills will fix that. If you're skipping protein at meals and counting on a shake to make up for it, you're fighting a house fire with a spray bottle. According to the National Institutes of Health, over 70% of Americans over 60 take at least one supplement daily, but only 1 in 4 meets the daily recommended protein intake through food. Let that sink in. We're swallowing pill, but not eating real meals. We're trusting marketing, more than motion, and it's costing us our strength. Now, don't get me wrong. I believe in smart supplementation when it's based on blood tests, doctor supervision, and real needs. For example, vitamin D for bone support if levels are low, creatine for muscle energy in advanced age, protein shakes when appetite drops or digestion is compromised. But no supplement works without action. They are tools, not solutions. They are helpers, not healers. And when taken blindly, without a plan, they can even hurt you. High doses of calcium, for example, without proper balance from magnesium and vitamin K2 can increase your risk of arterial calcification. Yes, that's hardening of the arteries. Overuse of protein powders can strain kidneys, especially in those with undiagnosed conditions. And let's not forget, these products aren't cheap. Americans spend over $35 billion per year on supplements. That's $35 billion we could be using for better food, better fitness, and better community health. So let me be clear, you can't out-supplement a bad lifestyle. You can't replace movement with medicine, and you can't expect your body to thrive if you're treating it like an experiment instead of a living, breathing miracle. So ask yourself, are you using supplements as support or as a substitute? Are you skipping action and hiding behind a pill? If so, it's time to reframe your approach. Start with real meals, real movement, real conversations with your doctor. Then and only then bring in supplements. If they fit, comment below. Which supplement are you taking right now? And how are you backing it up with action? Because strength is not swallowed. It's built with purpose. Mistake 6. Overlooking sleep and stress. Let me ask you something personal. When was the last time you had a full night's sleep and woke up truly rested? When was the last time you felt calm, not tense, not rushed, not worried? Because here's the truth most people don't talk about. Poor sleep and chronic stress are destroying your muscles. Silently, slowly, consistently. Every night you lie awake. Every morning you drag yourself out of bed feeling empty. That's not just fatigue. That's your body stuck in survival mode. And survival mode breaks muscle down. Let's look at science. When you're stressed, your body releases cortisol, the stress hormone. In small bursts, cortisol helps you wake up, handle danger, and stay alert. But when it stays high day after day, week after week, it becomes toxic. It puts your body into a catabolic state. That means your body starts breaking down muscle tissue to use for energy. And guess what? Sleep deprivation amplifies this. According to a 2022 study published in the journal Clinical Nutrition, just 5 nights of poor sleep can lead to a measurable loss in muscle mass and strength in older adults. Not 5 months, not 5 years, just 5 nights. Let that sink in. You could be doing everything else right, eating well, exercising, taking supplements. But if you're sleeping poorly and carrying constant stress, you're fighting with one hand tied behind your back. Your body repairs muscle at night. It builds strength while you sleep. And if you're skipping that step, you're skipping the very foundation of healing. Now, I know what you're thinking. I have too much on my mind. I've always been a light sleeper. I'm stressed about my health, my family, my finances. I get it. You're human. But stress is no longer just an emotional issue. It's a physical threat to your muscle, your memory, your heart. So what can you do? Start simple, turn off screens 1 hour before bed. Stretch for 5 minutes before lying down. Breathe slowly in through your nose, out through your mouth for just 60 seconds. Go to bed and wake up at the same time every day, even on weekends. These small shifts retrain your nervous system. They signal safety, they signal calm, they tell your body it's okay to rest, and when your body rests, it heals. So let me ask you again, are you honoring your recovery or are you pushing through thinking rest is a luxury? Because let me tell you, sleep is not optional. It's medicine, it's muscle repair, it's the missing link between doing everything right and finally seeing results. Comment below, how many hours did you sleep last night? And what's one change you can make tonight to give your body what it truly needs? Your muscles are listening. Let's give them what they've been waiting for. You've made it this far, and that tells me something powerful. You care. You're still in the fight. You still believe your strength matters. That belief, that's where healing begins. Not in the gym, not in a supplement bottle, but in that quiet decision you just made to not give up on your body. And let me tell you, your body has been waiting for this. It remembers how to move. It remembers how to heal. It remembers who you were before the walker, before the weakness, before the fear. And it's ready to rebuild, not just survive, but thrive. Because you are not fragile. You are not broken. You are not too far gone. You are alive. And that means the next chapter is still yours to write. So let's keep going together. In our next video, I'm going to show you the single most powerful exercise to prevent muscle loss as you age. Not 10 exercises, not a long routine. Just one movement proven by science, safe for your joints, and simple enough to do from home. It's the movement that keeps you independent, the one that helps you climb stairs, stand up from a chair, and walk without fear. You don't want to miss this, because when you know this one move and you do it right, it can become your anchor against sarcopenia. So if this video stirred something in you, if it made you reflect, remember, or take one small step, comment below. What's the one thing you're going to start doing today to protect your strength? And don't forget to subscribe, because your health deserves consistency, clarity, and community. And we're building that one muscle, one message, one comeback at a time.